My name is Mwenda, and I am very interested and passionate about about the environment and women. I have been quite a bit involved in environmental projects throughout my career. And many times you would go and there's always one aspect or the other of natural resource management. That's my background. But what came out very clearly and continues to come out clearly is that resources are not there for just one or two communities, one or two persons in society. Society is made up of many people. But many times also you find that the men own the resources, so society gives them the power to discuss the resources. Women are not custodians of resources. Women many times use the resources, manage them, but they have no authority to say this should be done about this and this, despite their very intimate knowledge about those resources. So I find it a very interesting discussion, talking about women and the environment. Much of the status of the environment, women would have, in my opinion, predicted the way things are going and how they should not have been going based on our activities. So for me, it's a very important agenda to bring on board women, because when we talk about environmental discussions, most of the time it's what does the man think about it. But when you bring on board the woman, it adds more fullness and gives more depth to the discussion. In my opinion, youth have a wonderful opportunity because they are exploring the ever-changing environment in ever-changing and very different ways. The way the youth will explore and experience the environment is totally different from the way you and I, at our bit advanced age, will talk about it. And for them, their experience, though a bit short in time, should not be used as a way to discredit them. Why technology has gotten to them so well, and if I say why they have picked it up so well, is that it gives them instant feedback. So we just need to appreciate and come up with ways that enable the youth to feel or to understand and appreciate that what they are experiencing from the environment can be given as feedback to them as quickly as possible. Because if, for example, I come in and say I'm going to undertake a longitudinal study, 50 years, for me to be able to talk about the environment, to be able to talk about energy, to talk about water and other resources, then of course I discredit the youth, because they'll say, what do they know? But they have definitely had an experience with energy. They have had an experience with the environment. They have had an experience with nature generally. So giving them also that chance to voice their opinions and show them that whatever you say is valid within your understanding, definitely then brings them on board to the table and gives them the credit and the confidence to discuss a bit more. And that, I might say, is already being experienced. Look at some of the activities we have now. A good example right now is tree planting, that at least is experienced in so many schools. It's you plant your tree, but before you plant the tree, you're given an idea of why are you planting the tree. And the fact that you know that that tree that you have picked is something that is associated with you and affiliated to you. Its survival depends on you, creates great opportunities for the youth and children to experience the environment and also feel that sense of ownership. Yeah. In my opinion, gender and energy are already very closely interconnected. Women, in my opinion, deal with energy so much more, whether it's in the domestic life or professional life, whether it's in the home or domestic duties, whether it's in the outside economic duties and activities, you definitely find that they interact with energy so much more. So whether it's the outward energy that we are talking about, or the more visible, like the electricity that we talk about, or whether it's the potential energy, the energy of even just being alive, taking care of other human beings, I think it's something that is already so closely interrelated that I might say we are only exploring. It's not that we're bringing together for the first time. We will be simply exploring and giving a voice to one other major participant of environmental issues and energy use, consumption. Yeah, that is my opinion. But first and foremost, young ladies are surely a part of the environment, surely a part of what goes on. And not only that, but they have wonderful opportunities now to be able to determine what happens. If you look at energy, technology right now, which is major use of energy, has caught on not only with the boys, but also with the girls. And girls are really innovating very classical, very wonderful things. So my message to them would also be to look at what is happening around you. It's not only the boys that are doing wonderful stuff, it's also the girls in terms of energy. And then ask yourself, what does that girl, where is she coming from? How is she able to do that? Can I do that? Why can I not be able to do such a thing? The opportunities are immense, and we are all seated in the same space. Right now, because of the developments in terms of technology and energy and other spheres, the gender gap, in my opinion, has been decreasing. So the time is right, the time is now, for the girl to get into the energy. That climate change has affected women so adversely because most of the time, many of the resources and environmental resources, as well as many of the impacts of climate change, squarely sit on women in the sense that they squarely affect women's lives. So how I would bring on the energy aspect is that many times, if you look at just the most basic use of energy and the most critical in the household, is determined by the lady and sought by the lady. Much of that is now greatly affected by climate change. If the lady is to source for food, how is she going to be able to source for the food? Climates have changed, soils have changed, water availability has changed. So it's the food, it's the energy for cooking. So that really affects the household because the lady is affected, and that again is attributed to climate change. So those changes have escalated from a macro to a meso to micro level. And really affected the household.